Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. And in this episode we are showcasing the completion of a project. It's a pretty fun one. Hope you guys enjoy it. So this 1978 Ford pickup is not your typical build. I guess we should start from the top. It's 1978 Ford pickup, two-tone, extended cab, four-wheel drive, 3/4 ton. It had a 400 Ford engine in it, Ford-speed manual transmission, your typical 2-speed transfer case, leaf-sprung suspension, 3/4 ton axles, Dana 44 in the front. Overall, this is a pretty nice original truck. So I made a few changes to this truck. The goal that the owner wanted was to have a modern drivetrain and this classic truck package, and he wants to work it. This is going to be his work truck. He's going to pull a trailer, he's going to haul excavators, backhoes, all kinds of fun things with this for his business. And it's probably going to be in the rain where he lives, so I guess this is a good test today. But those were his goals. He wanted to be heavy duty. He wanted to be able to pull heavy things. So in talking to him, we decided to go the route of going with a 7.3 liter Godzilla Ford motor. And it comes in the Super Duties that are, it's an alternative drivetrain to the diesel if you were to get a Ford Super Duty, which is pretty neat. So it has really good torque down low, and it has a good amount of power, over 400 horsepower, over 450 foot-pounds of torque straight from the factory that you get from a really low RPM range, which is nice to have that power readily available immediately. Now right behind the motor is a 6R140 6-speed automatic. The thing is stout, and it is large. We had to do extensive work to the firewall and the transmission tunnel, because on this particular frame of this particular truck, it has a really big cross member in the front of the motor, and that forced us to have to put the motor in further back into the engine bay and a little bit higher up than we originally anticipated. And by doing that, because the engine is big enough, the engine's actually not that big, but just how we placed it, it took up a lot of space in that location. But the transmission is really big, and it took up a lot of space, and it caused us to have to raise the floor bed, the floorboard around the transmission tunnel about 4 inches, all the way back to about behind this bench seat, this front seat here. So that took a lot of work to do. Overall though, and then behind the transmission is a factory 2019 Ford Super Duty 2-speed transfer case, and that thing is also quite large, but it was able to bolt right up to the back of this transmission. The engine and transmission, this is not your normal work truck, folks. So the engine and transmission we sourced from a company that sells these takeout packages. They buy these E350 vans off the dealer lot, and they yank the motor and transmission out and convert them to an electric motor. So they don't need the engine package, which is great because it's a very slightly used engine. It's fully broken in from the factory, and you can buy it with single-digit, double-digit miles on the engine and transmission, so it's brand new, which is great. And you can get a standalone control pack to run this motor and transmission. And it's all of that is for less than a really well-built crate motor that you'd have to break in and install and get and source all those individual components for. So it's a really nice option for a more budget-minded project that you want modern day reliability, modern day power, and without sacrificing reliability. Now the transfer case we're able to source from a rolled over Ford Super Duty, and in fact the axles, I guess I should touch on those. So the axles under this truck, they're not the 3/4 ton leaf sprung suspension in the front package that used to be in it. No, we went with a 2008 Ford Super Duty axle set, front and rear, 373 gears. So the front end has the radius arm with the coil suspension, and we used a company out of Vancouver, Washington. I'll put a link in the description. But what he does is he 3D scans the frames of these old Ford trucks, as well as all the suspension components from a takeoff Ford Super Duty, and he designs bracketry that allows the two to basically bolt up. I say basically, you do have to drill a small number of holes, but he provides all the templates and everything, makes it very straightforward. And so it's actually become, I mean, I'm sure if you're watching this video, you were probably drawn to it because you know these trucks pretty well, and you know that a lot of people are doing that axle swap. If you haven't done it and you're looking at doing this Super Duty axle set swap, I highly recommend it. He is the Battleborn brakes. He's great to work with, and his products are amazing. So highly recommend him. And the result, this thing drives like a brand new truck. It's got the modern day, it's got the Super Duty suspension, it's got the heavy dutiness of those axles, and they are stout axles. I can see why a lot of people are wanting to do these, work with these axles now. So overall, this is just a really great modern day package, all tied up into this old truck. Now we did keep the air conditioning, but not the factory air conditioning, because we had to do such extensive work to the firewall, and we wanted that modern day reliability. We didn't have to worry about charging the old refrigerant system, and mostly because of the firewall change. We did go with vintage air, and these systems, they are plug and play. You follow the instructions, you put them in exactly how they go, like they are, and they work amazing. We went with American Auto Wire because I've used their product on a lot of different vehicles, and again, they're tried and true. Their kits are great. Updates all the fuses to modern day fuses, all brand new wiring to all ends of the vehicle, and overall it just works really well. For the gauges that we used, we went with Dakota Digital. and this is actually my first time using these gauges personally, and I'm really happy with them. The gauges tie into the OBD2 port that is supplied with the engine control module, and it's super plug and play because of that. It simplified a lot of the hassle, because this engine, with being how new it is, the computer runs pretty much all the diagnostics, pretty much everything except for oil pressure. It runs through the computer. It just takes a little bit of fine tuning for your speedometer, and that's it, and you're done. To me, it's a no-brainer to go this route, to have a resto mod, because old things are cool, but they're not that cool when you can't keep up with traffic. Pull out in front of someone coming. You can't do that. But we're getting to a point here with technology that I really don't see how people can go to the old carbureted motors and under, you know, the transmissions that don't have overdrives on them. It just doesn't make sense to me. For me, if I have something that's built, I want to be able to take it out and enjoy it, and I want to be able to do anything I want in it, unless I'm building it specifically to take to a drag strip. You know, I want to be able to enjoy it. I want to be able to hit the freeway, turn the AC on high, and cruise 75 miles an hour, no problem. And this truck will absolutely do that, with a trailer behind it even. But no, overall I am highly impressed with this truck. It has been a fun build. The exhaust system that's in it, it's 2.5-inch exhaust coming off of the exhaust manifolds, and then they merge into a large muffler setup, and the muffler exits as a 3-inch single exhaust. Now, the owner wanted me to keep it quiet. In his words, he's over 40 and doesn't need it too loud, which I can understand. I'm going that way myself. This is very comfortable to drive in. I'm hardly speaking up at all. I'm really just trying to talk loud because I don't know if my mic is catching my voice over the sounds of the wind and rain outside. But you can talk normal in this truck, no problem. That could be because it has a ton of sound deadener on the floorboards. It took 2 carpet kits to lay down on the floor, just because it has that raised transmission tunnel. I had to make a separate section to cover the middle of it. It also has a nice brand new headliner, which is not easy to find for these Ford extended cabs. You can find a single cab headliner all day, no problem. But these extended cabs, and then I know also the crew cabs, are non-existent. You can't find those at all. But the extended cab kit came out of a company down in California that makes them, and it's really nice. I really like it. It really completed the look of the interior. So you have the old gauge cluster look, but it's modern functionality, and the vintage air controls, they also look pretty classic. They have a classic look to them. There's nothing inside that really screams I have something modern sitting underneath me that I can really get on and work, which is great. I don't want people, I don't think the owner, and myself included, I didn't want people to be able to look at this truck and right off the bat be like, oh, that thing's custom, that thing's modded out, that thing has something going on with it. You got to really be paying attention and looking for those things to know that this truck is not original. I'll put links in the description of all the big components that was used in this, like a link to the engine and transmission setup. You know, axles we got from the junkyard, transfer case we got from a junkyard, and went through it. So there's nothing really spectacular there, or nothing to really link to, and for those. But obviously the vintage air kit, you don't have to have a brand new system or a brand new drivetrain to put one of those in. You can put it in your old truck, it's still carbureted. The American Auto Wire, highly recommend that. The wiring kit systems in these older Ford trucks, they're just overly complicated, especially if you're modernizing a lot of it. It was going to be getting in the way of finishing this truck by having all that old stuff still in it. I know people do it and they're good at it, but I'd rather just start from scratch. You know, you're working with brand new wiring, good quality wiring that's going to last, you know, another 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Yeah, that vintage air kit works really well. It is toasty in here for sure. Every time you get on this thing and it just takes off, just puts a smile on your face. It's incredible. So I'm currently at 771 miles on the odometer right now. I put more onto it from tuning, and that is one little gripe I have with the Dakota digital gauges, because it does plug into the OBD2 port. In order to do any engine tuning, you have to unplug the gauges in order to plug in the HP tuners. So, you know that, and then it doesn't, the gauge cluster won't record the odometer. So I do probably have over 800 miles on this truck, and you know, there's been a couple of really small hiccups in the whole process of getting the miles put on. Nothing too critical, too terrible. And so, you know, I'm hoping that the owner is able to take it and hook a trailer up to it immediately and just start towing with it. So it has four-wheel disc brakes, which is great. You can lock up the tires really well. I'm sure I didn't lose anything doing that. Overall, I'm very happy with this truck. This has been an amazing build. The client's been amazingly patient with it, and I've been very challenged in a lot of aspects on this truck. Learned a lot, and I am excited to apply what I've learned to the next build, and the next build, and the next build. That's kind of what it's all about, is learning and growing and improving and taking that and making the next thing better, always getting better. So this is kind of a kickoff for the kind of projects that I'm going to be working on more on. I have a lot of other ones down the pipeline right now that are going to be very similar to this truck, and so I'm actually going to be taking along through the builds of those incoming projects. So I'm super excited about that, and I appreciate you guys staying with me through this whole video and watching to the very end. I appreciate it. This truck is actually going to be leaving tomorrow. The owner will be picking it up, and I'm super excited. I'm super excited for him to be able to take it and enjoy it and drive the heck out of it. And I'm excited for the future builds that I'm doing that I feel like this one kind of kicked off for it. So thank you guys for watching. Please, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up on that video. Hit the bell notification, because I'm going to be coming out with more videos here pretty soon. So stay tuned on that if you like seeing cool new modern drivetrains going into old vehicles. All right, now have a good rest of your day, folks.